Well, thank you very much, Renee Paquette and Madison Rain and others. We are kicking off the action here tonight. Forbidden Door, 0 hour, London, England.
Introducing first, at a combined weight of 359 pounds, Action Andretti and Leo Rush Crew!
Well, Ian, a very interesting partnership here tonight. And I'm not just talking about you and I, Crew and Don Callis family coming together tonight at the O2 in London ahead of Forbidden Door.
Well, we know the Don Callis family always recruiting Excalibur, or they have eyes on the Crew here tonight. Do they have eyes on the Crew? Of course, Action Andretti, Leo Rush, a formidable duo, really finding their footing in the tag team division.
They most certainly are, and I think a standout performance here by Leo Rush and Action Andretti, a victory for their side, could make some inroads into Don Callis family adoption, I guess.
Right. Well, Don Callis has been expanding the family, entering a number of stars into title contention. Of course, tonight, Kyle Fletcher defends the TNT title against Hiromu Takahashi.
And their partners. First, please welcome Don Callis!
Lovely reception. Fans of all ages enjoying this. Grandma in the house.
Is that your grandma?
No, my family's here, though. They wouldn't have missed this for the world. Sold out. Over 18,000 worldwide have descended upon the O2. We know thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands will be joining across the world here tonight. And I'm with the O2. I'm glad we don't have to hear Don Callis speak here tonight. This is great.
Yeah, Action Andretti, Leo Rush. Not sure they know what they've gotten themselves into with Don Callis. And as fans, as you mentioned, in more than 18,000 to join us here tonight at London's famous O2 Arena, still filing in as Don Callis.
Is he trying to take Arcady's job here? What's going on?
If I were Arcady, I'd shoot for a double leg.
Next, the walking weapon, Josh Alexander!
Josh Alexander, the newest member of the Don Callis family. Actually, that's not true. He's Hechicero, of course, the newest member. The
tremendous addition.
Next, from Monterrey, Mexico,
Cállate, Arcady!
Oh, this.
La familia de Don Callis es las cabras muy guapo. From Monterrey, Mexico, yo soy Hechicero!
Don looked like he's going to have an aneurysm there.
He might want his money back from Duolingo or Rosetta Stone. I appreciate him working on the Spanish, but a magician and alchemist he is not, but this man is.
Hechicero, the alchemist of the ring, with Lance Archer and Rocky Romero of the Don Callis family at his back.
Ooh. Making fire emerge from the sky, the mysticism of Hechicero.
And that fire emerging from alongside the steel cage that will enclose our main event tonight at Forbidden Door. The unsanctioned, lights out, 10-man steel cage match. Undoubtedly going to be wild. We are just over 1 hour away from Forbidden Door coming your way on pay-per-view through Prime Video, traditional cable and satellite providers.
And it's incredible. You mentioned the lights out cage match, Excalibur, but how about the AEW World Title bout between Hangman Adam Page, MJF? How about Athena, Toni Storm for the AEW Women's World Championship? Just a night loaded with marquee matchups.
And their opponents from Nagaoka, Japan, he's the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, El Desperado.
El Desperado, as Arkady mentioned, the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. So many notable former champions, including Kenny Omega, Jushin Thunder Liger.
Next, at a combined weight of 409 pounds, Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly, Paragon.
And we talked about the odd couple, or the odd quartet of CRU and Don Callis family. Paragon teaming with Desperado.
Right.
And one more representative from New Japan Pro Wrestling, a very unusual set of circumstances.
And from Eva Valley, Japan, weighing 197 pounds, Yuya Uemura.
Yuya Uemura, a man who, unlike Desperado, competes in the heavyweight division of New Japan Pro Wrestling, but a man with the impending retirement of Hiroshi Tanahashi on January 4th, 2026. Uemura says that he will be the man to fill Tanahashi's shoes, to be not just the ace of New Japan Pro Wrestling, the son, the S-U-N of professional wrestling, of New Japan Professional Wrestling.
It's an incredibly bold shot to call, but one made with confidence from this 7-year veteran. 5 wins in the G1, including one over Hiroshi Tanahashi, Excalibur. Calling his shot, and you need to have big pressure behind you. Of course, big pressure. We will see Swerve tonight.
Swerve Strickland, Kazuchika Okada, part of the Forbidden Door main card, AEW Unified Championship match. The tensions have been simmering over the last few weeks between Swerve and Okada, and boy, was that loud.
And the bell is off, and we are rocking here just over 1 hour away from the start of Forbidden Door here in London. Fans filing in the sold-out crowd, over 18,000 in the O2.
And Josh Alexander, Yuya Uemura starting things out for their respective sides. As Alexander waistlock, Matt return into the front facelock, but Uemura very quickly transitioning out. And the head scissored. Mentioned the Don Callis family representation. Kyle Fletcher, Hiromu Takahashi, TNT Championship match.
Ooh. And we are going to get two of the most unusual stars in wrestling here, Desperado and Hechicero.
Desperado, Japanese by birth, but a man who's trained extensively in Mexico as Hechicero, the alchemist of the ring. Ooh. The submission specialist, Yave submission specialist. There's quite a few holds that many fans may not have seen, but that's because they only exist in Hechicero's mind.
Well, he's certainly a creative artist in that ring. But Desperado, you mentioned it, Excalibur. The training in Mexico, working exclusively as an independent star primarily in New Japan Pro Wrestling as the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, going nose to nose now.
Now you see at the bottom of your screen all the ways you can join us for Forbidden Door: Prime Video, YouTube, PPV.com, traditional cable and satellite providers, Triller TV, Dave & Buster's and Tom's Watch Bar locations around the U.S. and main event in Australia. As now Hechicero, the roll-up.
Great counter there.
Desperado reversing Hechicero. 1, 2, almost a version of a seatbelt there.
But it's Desperado who has a counter for the counters of Hechicero.
Now jackknife attempted. Hechicero rolls through. Got him. No. Desperado. Oh, Hechicero. A little kick with the calf of Hechicero to break it up. And now the ankle lock cinched in.
Well, this is going to be where it gets interesting for Desperado, who's not afraid to get a little bit violent, go to the strikes.
Now you could, oh, wait a second. Desperado floats over.
Ooh.
Now the stretch muffler.
Yeah, going for that numero dos now.
But instead, Hechicero able to maneuver out of it.
Of course, we expect to see some great technical wrestling later here tonight. The IWGP World Heavyweight title on the line as Hechicero snatches the leg. It's going to be Zack Sabre Jr. defending against Nigel McGuinness here at the O2.
Yeah, Nigel winning that technical spectacle just 8 days ago to earn the right to challenge Zack Sabre Jr. here tonight at Forbidden Door. A first-time meeting between two of the British technical masters.
I understand we have some VIPs in the house, some British wrestling royalty here tonight.
Marty Jones and
Johnny Saint.
Johnny Saint, yep.
Oh, and a little bit of, maybe some trust issues here, as it was Hechicero looking to make the tag to Alexander. Lio Rush tags himself in.
And Lio wants to mix it up with Desperado. And you talked about how Desperado, a fan of all different forms of professional wrestling. You can see just based on his back, a very seasoned participant in deathmatch wrestling as well in Japan.
Absolutely. I was at Kurikan Hall when a bloody brawl with Jun Kasai, John Moxley. It was a violent, incredible affair. Of course, Mox in the huge 10-man lights out cage match here tonight.
Desperado was looking for the tag in the corner, but CRU, Desperado showing his quickness. CRU coming up empty numerous times, and Desperado, that not typically tagging with Yuya Uemura, and he had to really think about who he was going to tag in. Would it be Uemura? Would it be a member of Paragon? It was Kyle O'Reilly, but unfortunately for O'Reilly, he's getting bounced around here by CRU.
Oh, up and over. And I think that could be the opportunity. One of these teams might win by taking advantage of a mistake, of hesitation. Look at that!
In comes Andretti flying high while Lio Rush had picked the ankle.
Little guitar solo mocking that of Kyle O'Reilly. So you see Rocky Romero, big Lance Archer on the outside.
Yeah, Rocky Romero, Lance Archer looming over this match as members of the Don Callis family. You know what a difference they can make, Ian.
Absolutely, and now the tag made. Roderick Strong legally for the first time here.
Kyle O'Reilly, quite a bit of experience competing in the rings of New Japan Pro Wrestling, though Roderick Strong does not have that same experience, though he is a world-class, world-traveled competitor. As Alexander, double hip toss there, and O'Reilly comes steaming in with that PK.
And it's Roderick Strong, the Messiah, the backbreaker, setting up the double team Excalibur.
The backbreaker on Hechicero, the knee drop from O'Reilly. Paragon with their fair share of issues with the Don Callis family. Oh! DDT, and Lio Rush, the backbreaker courtesy of Roderick Strong.
In a great position now, our Paragon to get to the finish line. O'Reilly takes out Alexander's countryman on the outside. It's Strong now. To the eyes.
A rake of the eyes by Action Andretti trying to escape the grip of Roderick Strong. Roderick, a series of elbows. Hechicero sweeps out the legs.
And Bryce saw that one, not happy, but not much you can do now. The edge back to CRU and the Don Callis family.
Yeah, grazing blow there by Action Andretti, but it was enough to cause Roderick Strong to stumble, and now Action Andretti, some right hands. Referee Bryce Remsburg trying to do his best to maintain order here, but easier said than done with 8 participants, 10 men at ringside.
Absolutely, and you see Yuya Uemura trying to resist the urge to help Strong, who's in a bad way right now, in trouble as CRU going to work. Ooh, double drop kick there.
A great tandem offense there by CRU. 2 count, Roderick Strong able to kick out. Fans just over 1 hour away. Forbidden Door live on pay-per-view. More than 18,000 fans will be joining us here in the O2 in London. You have a chance to join us at home via Prime Video, YouTube, ppv.com, traditional cable and satellite providers, Triller TV, Dave & Buster's and Tom's Watch Bar, locations across the U.S. and main event in Australia.
And in the center of the ring now, it is Lio Rush. Oh! Able to get the suplex off, float over.
Floats over, lateral press.
And CRU right now, Excalibur, really teaming well with the Don Callis family, really found their rhythm.
Yeah, we were kind of questioning prior to the match starting how things would go, but it seems a little more synergy coming from the Don Callis family CRU side of the ring.
But I think it speaks maybe to the hesitation of Roderick Strong. Oh, looking for the rush hour, no. Oh!
Right into the grip of Roderick Strong, thunderous backbreaker.
That is strong. He's going to want O'Reilly. But is he going to trust Uemura if Uemura has the easier tag here?
Leo Rush making the crawl. O'Reilly gets the tag from Roderick Strong. O'Reilly cuts off Rush. And now, combination of strikes, the forte of Kyle O'Reilly.
So quick, the former Ring of Honor World Champion, Kyle O'Reilly.
Hechicero got caught coming into the ring. O'Reilly made him pay for the, oh wait, wow. Andretti.
Stepping through.
Andretti was looking for that sunset flip, but instead, O'Reilly now.
Bit of an E-bar here. Stepping over, cranking it in, making that knee go left to right.
But Andretti there, in order to break up the hold, bailing out his fellow crew member, Leo Rush.
And that's what I'm talking about with CRU and with the Don Callis family. They've been there for one another. There's some hesitancy for Desperado, for Uemura to try and help one another. And I don't know if that's uncomfortableness or,
oh no, things going from bad to worse for Andretti and Leo.
O'Reilly making a rally here,
Brainbuster, O'Reilly floats over, lateral press. Nope, Leo kicks out and immediately back to the Jujigatame.
Love the way he held on to that wrist, applying the pressure, keeping that arm locked in. It's Andretti running shooting star.
A very elaborate breakup, but a breakup nonetheless. For action, Andretti bailing out Leo Rush there.
O'Reilly only with Uemura makes the tag.
A man who could very well be the future of New Japan Pro Wrestling. Coming in, exchanging strikes, center of the ring, Josh Alexander. These two men, without a doubt, Ian, the heaviest hitters for their respective sides.
Certainly is, and I think this benefits Alexander. It's going to be Uemura who needs to use his agility, his speed like he's doing here. The drop kick, no one home.
Alexander showing his speed, his anticipation there. Brainbuster attempt from Alexander. Uemura floats behind. Alexander behind. Uemura on target with a drop kick.
Beautifully anticipated by Yuya there. Had his excursion in the United States and New Japan strong. Went back to his home country. Trying to make his mark, but it's Alexander who stunts that momentum.
Josh Alexander, great counter there. Shutting down the momentum of Yuya Uemura. But now, Hechicero, the legal man.
But they have some madness in their eyes here, Excalibur. They've got something planned. All four men on their feet.
Hechicero sending Uemura across the ring. Alexander the splash. Hechicero. Big time knee strike, rocking the head.
The double heels, shades of Jushin Liger.
And now CRU with pair of topes from CRU, keeping Paragon neutralized on the outside. Combination offense by the Don Callis family members. Josh Alexander has Uemura in serious trouble here.
Yuya may be out as Andretti with a dive. And it's Leo Rush, frog splash.
Opposite corner, Leo Rush, the frog splash. And no, Desperado there. The unlikely savior for Yuya Uemura.
Running knee from Strong. Hechicero hits scissor driver. But it's O'Reilly, knee to the midsection. Big heel. Hechicero down.
In comes Leo Rush into the ropes. Stunner finds its marks. Cutter there by Action Andretti. CRU getting two big attacks in on Kyle O'Reilly there.
Yeah, Paragon certainly in trouble. Yuya Uemura, he is the legal man right now. In a dangerous position, dangerous place as Andretti.
Cancun tornado off the top by Action Andretti, though. May bear watching that Josh Alexander came up clutching that knee, but Uemura out of the way of the second frog splash attempt. Leo looking for the stunner. Instead, Uemura, backslide, no.
And it is Uemura. Butterfly suplex.
Driven down and no! Leo Rush just barely.
And of course, Yuya, most of his offense based around the arm.
Did you see that? Bring it.
Deadbolt.
1, 2, 3. That is it. Uemura.
Here are your winners, El Desperado, Paragon, and Yuya Uemura.
El Desperado,
Kyle O'Reilly says.
Very happy.
Yeah, ringing endorsement for Uemura. There by Kyle O'Reilly.
No! The Don Callis family not taking kindly to this loss. That deadbolt, a hallmark of Yuya's arsenal there.
But now, I want to talk about unlikely reinforcements. The Stone Pitbull, Tomohiro Ishii, striding confidently to the ring. Ishii and Rocky Romero, they used to be partners at one time, Ian.
They certainly did. But of course, Ishii's allegiance still runs thick with Kyle O'Reilly. Still remain friends.
Yeah, Ishii, a member of the conglomeration alongside O'Reilly. And right now, Lance Archer inviting the confrontation from the Stone Pitbull. Archer swings first, but it's Ishii who connects first.
Wow!
Oh, Ishii got rocked back by that one, Archer.
Oh no.
Gonna deliver a chokeslam. Ishii breaks free.
There's no way, Excalibur.
Tomohiro Ishii. No, Archer. Wait a second, Ishii.
No! What? What?
Ishii, the brain buster!
The Stone Pitbull saves the day!
Oh, Roderick Strong showing some hesitancy
Roddy,
to
you gotta
conglomerate. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta get in there. Oh,